one more time. I just wanted to hear three. Okay. Hey, what's up, y'all? Good afternoon. Happy Friday. TGIF. This is going to be a real quick rundown. Want to say hello to everybody here. Good, man. Give lips crusty and dry. As soon as I smile, they're going to start bleeding. Yeah. What's up, everybody? This is in the basement with Next Step and K. Of course, I am K. Shout out to everybody. What's up to my co-host? Hopefully he's watching. How you doing over there? Love you, brother. Can't wait for you to come back. I'm just a six man, just warming up. I'm just a six man out here, just taking care of it. Until the starters come back. So just want to say what's up. Happy Friday once again. Just a quick little recap of what's going on. Of course, I already went over most of the scores and everything that was going on from Monday, Wednesday. Now today is Friday, so a couple games that are jumping off, especially some Catholic League games. So if you're not doing anything, since there's no football for this weekend, it's only going to be like Pro Bowl, but we'll jump on that a little bit later. Definitely check out the kids, support them. There's a lot of Catholic League basketball going on. Also, I think there's a couple Friends League games that are going on today too. Once I get to that schedule, I'll look into that. So if you have any questions, feel free. Give me a call, drop a comment, text 302-844-8275. Number again is 302-844-8275. Smash that subscribe and like button. If you want to see us on Instagram, at in the basement underscore the basement underscore podcast, and YouTube in the basement podcast, just like the name says, and also on Facebook in the basement podcast. So I definitely want to say welcome once again. Friday. News and notes is going on, even though I'm like a little bit late with this, but not too late because I remember my brother brought it to my attention. It was definitely dope to see. Of course, growing up in my era, my brother's era, Next Step's era, SB's era too as well, we all know who the Fab Five was. Of course, the Fab Five was Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Juwan Howard, Jimmy King, and Ray Jackson, which makes up the Fab Five. They went through a whole lot of mess in the University of Michigan, as in getting their banners taken down. They weren't allowed. I believe they had a rule of distance from the university. They weren't even allowed to come to the university. Even if they had a game, they couldn't even buy a ticket. And I'm sure that most of the people that were involved with the University of Michigan can still go back to the University of Michigan. At times, there was some bad blood between them. There's some bad blood between Jalen and Chris. Jimmy King, Ray Jackson, they were kind of like on the wayside because even though they were part of the quote unquote scandal that rocked the Big Ten and rocked the University of Michigan, that caused their banners to come down. There's a lot with that. And if you have like ESPN or ESPN Plus, whenever you get a chance, if you haven't watched it, even though this is like years and years after this came out, but if you want some more in-depth proof and reasoning why everything happened at the University of Michigan, look no further than the Fab Five documentary that's on ESPN. It's on 30 for 30. Actually, I believe Jalen Rose actually produced that, and they go into it. And then from times, even if I have nothing to watch, whether it's like series or some sports, like I will go to that Fab Five documentary just to like watch it, just for the nostalgia. The baggy shorts, the black sneakers, the black socks, the bald heads, the swagger, the talking. I mean, basically, I also got a chance to listen to all the Smoke podcasts. Shout out to Matt Barnes and Stack Jack. They actually had like Rod Strickland on there. They asked Rod Strickland the question in regards to what the Fab Five meant, to the University of Michigan. And I believe the Fab Five meant everything to the University of Michigan. Of course, they had the championships with like Glenn Rice and Terry Mills and everybody, but Ramil Robinson, shout out. But I mean, from what the Fab Five brought to the University of Michigan, I don't think they could have done that at any other college. Thanks to the coaching by Steve Fisher, that allowed them to be them and to basically it was a culture, like Rod Strickland said, and I quote, it was a culture. It was a revolution. It was a culture. It was a changing of the guard. And also too, and rest in peace, Mom. She also brought up a really good point when we were watching the Fab Five back in like '92 or '93. She was like, as talented as they were, no one didn't give them the credit that five black men actually passed the SATs with no problem, especially when those standardized tests were against people of color or low or social income status and things of that sort who couldn't get like the right uh, study tools for these standardized tests, whether it's the SAT or the ACT. But all five of them passed. All five of them came from different upbringings, but they just made it as a team, that one team to come together. And they didn't start every game because first it was just three. First it was three that started like the first games, and then from there, like Jimmy King and then Ray Jackson was inserted to the lineup, and then from there they just didn't look back. I mean, they were smashing all types of competition. I mean, Jimmy Jackson can remember, Glenn Robinson can remember. I mean, there was so many teams that were just getting smashed out there, and even the North Carolina Tar Heels. Even though they won the championship in '93, they knew that the University of Michigan was better than North Carolina that year. Even Montrose, rest in peace, Eric Montrose, was like, "Listen, like man, you guys were way better than us." But shout out to the Fab Five and Kyle brought it to my attention. Shout out to the Dr. Kyle podcast. Dr. Kyle brought it to my attention off stage a couple weeks ago. He was like, "Yeah, okay, like turn to the game. Michigan's playing, and they got Jalen. He's doing like the commentary, as a special guest, and the rest of the Fab Five is there. And I saw they were sitting in the stands. They gave him like a round of applause, even though I think that it was well overdue. For these guys to come back and, for what they meant to the university, especially how much money they made for the university. And because of the University of Michigan, you have these NIL deals, even though they weren't getting paid for what they do. But I mean, if it wasn't for the Fab Five, like we wouldn't have like all this dope Nike equipment, dope Nike sneaks, different colors, black socks, white swooshes, or black socks with the yellow swoosh, or blue socks with the yellow swoosh, or yellow socks with the blue swoosh. It's like, this is because of the University of Michigan. And Michigan, like, to their dismay, only reason why I didn't really like them like that, because of the boosters, they kind of like exposed them basically, and they were using them because anytime they were pushing out new Nike gear, they always put Fab Five Nikes or Fab Five Nike socks or Fab Five Nike shorts, so people would buy them. I mean, a couple of friends of mine bought them. I tried to get them. I tried to sag my shorts too, but I couldn't get them. My mom and dad told me to pull my shorts up to my waist and act like I got some sense. But shout out to the parents. But you know what? For quietest cat, I think mom and dad had some love for the University of Michigan just because they were African American and they were doing something, and they were going to try to they didn't try to knock off Duke. So it was definitely great to see the Fab Five back in Michigan, and then have the Fab Five talk to the kids nowadays about what they went through and how the Fab Five actually crawled so the rest of these guys out here with these NIL deals can fly, and women too. So, but yeah, I definitely give them more props. Coming up next, you want to chime in 302-844-8275 in the basement. Also, yesterday, Tyrese Maxey and Jalen Brunson were going straight buck yesterday. I mean, buck. Tyrese Maxey, 51 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 assist and a block. So basically, I mean, it was a pretty dope stat line. He went 12 for 27 from the field, 10 for 11 at the line, and then 7 for 9 at the 3-point line. So, I mean, that was pretty hefty, That's your all-star. That's your all-star nod right there, my friend. Jalen Brunson also is going to be an all-star reserve as well. 40 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. He went 15 for 30 from the field, pretty much 50%. My math isn't that good, but it's good enough. From the free throw line, he went 9 for 11, so that's roughly about 80, roughly about 83%, I think. 9 to 11, okay, whatever. 82, I think. And from the 3-point line, he went 1 for 6. I mean, but they were really like fouling Jalen, and he let them know. He let them know. After he dropped that 40, he got this and one. I mean, he started yelling at the crowd. So this is what I do. couple choice words. Told him he can't come to the barbecue. When I'm having my barbecue, don't come through. That's basically what he was saying. For lack of better words. And speaking of which, definitely want to give him some applause. Now, even though Maxey and Brunson went crazy yesterday, does that guarantee a starting position on the All Star on the All Star squad? Let's see. No, according to the reserves, no, they don't. So basically, the 2024 All Star reserves have been named. Some names that you would know. For the East, you got Jalen Brown, you got Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson's also reserve, Bam Adebayo, Julius Randle. Now, actually, I put an asterisk next to Julius Randle's name just because I don't know if he'll be playing. He might be on the bench, but he won't be playing, so they're probably going to insert someone else in there. Probably Trae Young, maybe, because everybody's talking about some Trae Young should start. He's averaging 27, this and that. Yeah, but what is he doing for his team? Is his team winning? They're about to trade DeJounte Murray, so they're about to leave Trae Young all by himself again. Yeah, it is what it is. Tyrese Maxey, of course, and Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero has silently been hooping down there, even though, and his team is actually winning too. His team, they're losing two, then winning one, losing two, winning one, and then they're losing. Then they'll win three, and then lose two again. But Paolo Banchero, he's averaging I think around 25. I believe he's averaging around 25. I ain't trying to see him. I'm glad we're doing our little East Coast trip for the Clippers. And speaking of which, we beat the Washington Wizards the other night too. Kawhi had 31 points in 3 quarters. Nothing but mid-range floaters, maybe the occasional three, but he had 4 steals or something like that. Russ was out there hooping too. Come get us, man. Come get us. It's the Clippers. Come get us. The West reserves have also been announced as well. Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. Now, do you have a problem with that? Do you have a problem with that lineup? With the West reserves? Because a lot of people said Steph should be starting. Karl-Anthony Towns shouldn't be on there. They're also saying Paul George shouldn't be on there, but I don't see why not, because he's playing pretty much the best basketball, not saying of his career, but he's playing some pretty good basketball, especially in regards to 3 other superstars that are actually on that team. So Kawhi definitely gets the nod. Paul George and Kawhi actually get the nod from me because they're both healthy. So you're just getting the All-Star nod just off of principle. Karl-Anthony Towns, I think some people are questioning that, but I'm not questioning it. Karl-Anthony Towns has been pretty consistent through the year up until now. Devin Booker has also been consistent. Anthony Davis, Mr. Plexiglass, he sat yesterday, so I guess. Speaking of sitting, tell me how you feel about taking a beat out of the MVP race, because I think he's going to be down for another week or so. So that's probably going to mess up his 69 game minimum for getting the MVP, even though he's hooping like a monster. But I don't think he's going to get it. They're probably going to give it to probably maybe Ant-Man or somebody like that if he keeps doing what he's doing. Probably give it to Jokic again. Not too sure about that. Maybe Jason Tatum has a run at it. Maybe even Kawhi. Who knows? If Kawhi can stay healthy and he keeps doing what he's doing, he can probably get it too. But it's all political. We all know what that is. You know what I'm saying? So, but shout out to all the reserves. Shout out to everybody who's participating in the Rising Stars. Shout out to everyone who's participating in the All-Star game. Shout out to participating in the dunk contest. I didn't get the roster for the dunk contest yet, but I should have it by. I probably should have it by tomorrow. So everybody just remind me with that. Next issue that's coming up. Super Bowl prediction. We'll probably get more into that probably on Saturday and Sunday. Basically, just quick questions, quick hitters. Who wins and why? And I definitely have a question for my fans out here. Do you think, because the NFL Pro Bowl, people have been really complaining about it, about the skills competition is great and all, but it's more of a novelty act now. I think they should bring back the NFL Pro Bowl. What do you guys think? Let me know, because you remember when the Pro Bowl was a Pro Bowl, that was something to look forward to. Even though they weren't playing but so much defense, but it was like an NBA All-Star game. It was okay, we're going to go out here, we're going to showcase our skills, not get hurt. But when it comes down to it, when we need to stop, we're going to show you why I made defensive, all team NFL defensive team, and made to the Pro Bowl, this many number of times because of what I do. Same thing with, with the quarterbacks and running backs and receivers, tight ends, and everybody, offensive line. This is why we're Pro Bowl. It's like the best matching up against the best. So definitely, I want you, I want your input about, should they have another, should they go back to the old Pro Bowl, like with the pads and you're just hitting and stuff like that. Not trying to knock your head off or anything like that, but I mean, just, like, let you know I'm there, man. Like, this is why I made the Pro Bowl. This is what I do. Take it back to the Ray Lewis days, Ed Reed days, and stuff like that. Um, Also, next up, the WNBA. Shout out to the WNBA. They've been real busy out there doing trades and acquisitions. Some of the more notable ones that I was familiar with was, Della Don. Shout out to the University of Delaware because she used to cook Drexel. God, she used to cook Drexel. I remember she dropped Drexel off like a cool 37 in the second half. Ugly. That thing was looking ugly out there. But shout out to Della Don. I actually ran into her when I was working at Nordstrom back in I think 2000, 2015, 16 or something like that.
You are now in the mind.
I did though. I really did. She actually, I think she was in the men's department when she was looking for some Birkenstocks or something like that. But then she came over to the women's department and nobody knew who she was. And I was like, yo, that's El Deladon. That's El Deladon right there. And everybody, who? I was like, Deladon. She used to play for, she was playing for the Mystics, and she was doing, she played for the Chicago Sky at that time. She played for the Chicago Sky, and she used to play for the University of Delaware. Of course, nobody knew what I was talking about. But it was crazy though. I mean, I forgot who I was talking to in there. There's a time, also at Nordstrom. Shout out to Nordstrom. To the staff over there in the women's shoe department. We also got a chance to talk to Aaron McKee stopped through there, Lynn Greer stopped through there, Flip Murray stopped through there, Dawn Staley stopped through there too when she was coaching at Temple. And again, I was telling most of the guys from North Philly, and I was telling them, yo, Dawn Staley is here. Do you want to serve her or something like that? He's like, who's that? Dawn Staley? You don't know who Dawn Staley is? North Philadelphia's finest? Come on, guys. Come on. You got to do better than that, guys. And then I remember I told one of the guys, he's like, yeah, man, I'm from North and stuff like that. This is what I do. I was like, well, yeah, Flip Murray just came through. Why don't you, holler at him? Flip Murray, who that? It's somebody who needs a clue. That's who that is. But I broke it down. Then I saw, the Greer family. I didn't see the whole Greer. I saw I think his mom. Then Lynn Greer came through, and we chopped it up for a hot minute. Aaron McKee came through as well. But shout out to everybody who came through Nordstrom. But yeah, all that to say this. I know I just went off on a tangent. Sorry about that. Della Don. It looks like. From my notes, it looks like she's having, some discontent with the Mystics, the organization. I think she's ran her time out there. And I think the Mystics are going in another direction now because, Della Don's a little older now. She's not the Della Don we all know and love from the Chicago Sky, just coming over to the Mystics in her MVP form. And I think what the Mystics are going to start doing now, they're going to try to start moving her around to see if we can get some draft picks for her. And send her somewhere else. So, and also too, another one of the other notable WNBA players that who I like. Sorry, baby, I'm sorry, but Skylar Diggins Smith, yeah, she's married. Has signed with the Seattle Storm. Congratulations. Diggins is a WNBA point guard. She's also all time. I think 6-time WNBA all WNBA selection. I believe if I'm saying that correctly. Sorry about that, Skylar. I apologize. Come to the show. But I mean, she's playing somewhere new in Seattle. Just covering for Sue Bird and them to just come into that shadow. So that's all. That's good with that. Actually, I got another question for the poll. For the people out there. Now you know me, I'm Mr. Friendly, right? I'm Mr. Friendly when on the basketball court, but don't get me messed up though. I can still get aggressive. I still got the high basketball IQ and everything like that. But I think I'm getting softer in my older age because, you know, um, I remember we went through this before, and it happens every now and then. Sometimes when I have an old person, if I'm defending an older person who's like maybe like their knees are bad or maybe their skill set isn't what it used to be. So sometimes I might let them, I might let them score, not get out their way, but I'll contest and I will, I'll get in your way, make it a little hard for you, you know. But my question is this: is letting the other older person score, a person that's injured that you're defending, is that okay? In the realm of good sportsmanship, let me know. Please let me know. Also, as we mentioned earlier, I didn't get a chance to talk about Tiger Woods too. Tiger Woods, he's ending his partnership with Nike this year. He didn't end it immediately, but he's ending it this year. So after 2024 going into 2025, like that relationship will not say be terminated, but that contract will be terminated. Like it just ran its route basically. Um, Shout out to Lucky Luciano. Thank you for chiming in. Yeah, the Lakers won without Brown last night. Now, here's the thing, Lucky Luciano, tell me this. Now, does this take him out of GOAT status because they're sitting out games? Let me know. Get your bars up, media. What's up, man? Salute. Casey destroyed Jabari Kilby this morning in hoops. Casey is the GOAT. Thank you, B. I didn't destroy Jabari. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you what really happened with that. Basically what happened was there was a text that was a group. We have a group text called The Run. Shout out to the guys in The Run. Shout out to Tommy, Thomas, Jabari, B, the Eagles fan, Kyrie McKinney and the McKinney family, myself. I'm trying to figure out who else is in that chat. Oh, Raheem and Joey. I mean, when you guys coming back, we need you, man. We love you. Come on back, brother. But yeah, all that to say this. In the group chat, they're talking smack. So, I'm asking like, yo, who's coming through? Who's coming through on Friday? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tell some jokes and stuff like that. Jabari, as aggressive as he gets, he's like, yo, Kay, don't come through. I got this for you, this and that, whatever the case may be. I mean, I can read the text word for word verbatim, but there's like so many messages. So he said, yeah, Kay, don't suit up, whatever. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to go in there and get some shots up, whatever the case may be. Go in there. So I go in there, play the second and third game. So this is like two games that I'm playing back to back. I win both games. So the rules of the run is this: you win two games, you sit. I did what I had to do, and I'm out there playing defense. It's not like I'm out here playing defense on somebody that's older, even though I have Pastor Sean on me. Shout out to Pastor Sean, Salt and Light Church. Please go visit him. He has great sermons, great Bible study too. Hit him up. But also, I was actually playing. I'm out there switching on defenders, and this is the kicker too. This is real funny. What I've noticed over the month is every time I get switched on Jabari, or should I say he who has no name, they somewhat the defense somewhat goes away from him. It's kind of like Darrell Revis against like Terrell Owens or something like that. Like, oh, Darrell Revis is on him. I'm not going to throw it over there at all. I'm not going to say Deion territory because sometimes Jabari does get the ball on my side and I have to defend him and stuff like that. But usually he doesn't make the shot. Maybe 4 times out of 10, 40%. So I'm not saying you don't make it, but you do have a fighting chance sometimes. So anyway, so usually when I get the switch, on him, playing good heads up ball, I'm not going to just let him shoot. Either my thing is either make you take a bad shot or just make you delay so help can come. That's all it is. I'm not really trying to shut you down. If I shut you down, then that's just an added bonus for me. But anyway, so we win the first game. Second game, we win the second game against Jabari too. And we beat him, sat him down. Then he's talking like, yo, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. I'm just saying, I just do what I have to do. But shout out to B. Thank you. You just actually made me go right to my story. But also, shout out to Tiger Woods. He'll be ending his partnership with Nike. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to actually re-up again with him. But it says here that, and I ran it off, shout out to Complex Magazine, that Tiger Woods is parting ways with Nike. and he's still like according to the complex, he's still wearing their product. You know, he's also still wearing like Nike gear. So I'm not sure what they're going to do like for the building up there at in Nike Town up there in Beaverton. But he has confirmed, and I quote, like that and I quote, Tiger Woods has officially confirmed that 27-year partnership with Swoosh is over. Just a little bit of time ago, both Woods and Nike issued statements about the end of their longstanding partnership on social media, which will appear. I can send the link to you guys. But it sounds like he can have a new deal coming up again that can be announced like right after his deal is over. So they're probably just going to just re up again for like a couple more years, and that's it. I think I think they just have to just make shoes that are a little bit more comfortable, like for Tiger now, because Tiger is not the same Tiger that we know. But even though, like some of my favorite Tiger moments, of course, 1996, 1997, when he was like still an amateur. The 2000 PGA Championship was another good one when they had the three-way tiebreakers with Bob May, and he did the when he with the putt, and he did the point when he was like running the ball in, and he was pointing the ball in, while he hit the putt. Another one was the '05 Masters, which that shot, if you ever watch like the NCAA tournament and and golf comes right after like the Final Four and the championship game, like Tiger's shot is still the iconic intro for the Masters. Like anytime the Masters come on, they have to show that putt. So yeah, that was also the 2009 President's Cup, and then also I remember in 2012, um, and I believe that was called the Eccentric Match Play. Um, Tiger went ham. Like I think he was down. I think he was down a couple strokes. He went clutch and just got it and won. So yeah, those and there's so many other, like the Breeders' Cup, the U.S. Olympic team. I remember when they teamed up with VJ Singh, and they were just dominating the competition for U.S. golf and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, just shout out to Tiger because I mean, just for me, um, Tiger changed a he changed a lot of people's like way of thinking, like in regards to like stereotypes. Um, just I would say just like the entire sport of golf, like he pretty much almost like revolutionized it. He got kids to play golf, he got more black and brown kids, and the kids to play golf. He got more other people. He got more females interested in golf, even though that was kind of like his downfall. Sorry, Tiger. Um, but any type of like stereotypes, challenging, you know, that was Tiger. Tiger changed that around for everyone. Just like the Williams sisters. Um, so yeah, but definitely shout out to Tiger. Congratulations. And hopefully he's gonna stay with Nike. Man, 'cause, Nike takes care of their own. Nike definitely takes care of their own. I think he's wearing some FootJoy golf shoes, which were pretty expensive too. I checked it out on excuse me, I checked it out on Amazon, and they're about like almost like $200, for a pair of shoes. So just imagine, like when Tiger, if they give a contract to Tiger, that's going to go up another probably $75. So yeah, without any further ado, we're at the 28-minute point. So without any further ado, if you have any questions, comment, feel free. 302-844-8275. That's our number. You can call in or you can comment, hit that like and subscribe button. Matter of fact, don't hit it, smash it. Um, Coming up yesterday, there's a little bit of Friend School play. Friend Select and Friend Central played. Friend Central won 66-57. Shout out to Jay Childs and Childs family. Shout out to E. Shout out to cousin Keisha, aka CK1. Shout out to the Wrecking Crew. Jay Childs is killing it out there. I think right now he's in the verge. He's in that realm of averaging like 18 points around that time. So Jay, I'm not Jay. Excuse me. So E, if you can send me like via Facebook or text. If you can send me like his stats and stuff like that on what he's been doing. Also, yesterday, shout out to MLTEP Charter and Math, Civics, and Sciences. They actually played MLTEP won 55-34. Shout out to Ahmad Noel. The most obvious snubbage I've ever seen in a high school All American selection. Shout out to Jeremiah. Jeremiah is one of the guys that I know at MOTEP. He comes over for early college and dual enrollment. Shout out to RJ. We all know who RJ Smith is. You know what I mean? Shout out to little RJ. He used to get it in the gym with us while we were playing. Shout out, and also shout out to Ryan. Shout out to his dad too. Shout out to Ryan Sr. Shipley and Abington Friends played. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I'm still looking for the score, for the box score for that. So if anyone who's listening who has the box score to Shipley and Abington Friends, please send it to me. I'll definitely give you a shout out. Today in high school, there's a lot of Catholic school ball that's jumping off today, and I'll run through it real quick before I jump off this thing. Another Friends school that's actually playing, Friends Select and the George School are actually playing today at Friends Select. I did not know. This is during the playoffs now. So basically, from what I saw on Instagram, if whoever wins this actually plays Academy of New Church on Tuesday for this playoff game. So shout out to Friends Select. Shout out to Great Fouls. Hopefully good luck today at 5 p.m. I definitely be watching the live for me. In Catholic school play, it's going down tonight. They don't have the times here, but I do have the schools that are actually playing tonight. If you can actually get out to some of these games, man, it's definitely going to be a blast. LaSalle College and Archbishop Bryant played tonight. Devon Prep and Father Judge played tonight. They're playing at Father Judge. St. Joe's plays at Newman Goretti tonight. At Archbishop Carroll plays at Roman Catholic. Bonner and Prendy they're playing at Cardinal O'Hara. Archbishop Ward is playing at Cardinal Egan. Lansdale Catholic is playing at West Catholic on Saturday. Also for college on Thursday, shout out to the ladies. Shout out to my man Justin Moore. More buckets, more scoring, more problems. Drexel and Monmouth played, and unfortunately Drexel lost by 5, 67-62. Justin Moore had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, and 4 steals. I ain't mad at that. I get the 12 points, but the 8 rebounds, 1 block, and 4 steals, that's all I need. I'm good with that. In women's college basketball, UMass Lowell and Maine hooked up. Maine beat UMass Lowell 68-49. Shout out to C. Worley, friend of the family. C. Worley, and shout out to PYB. C. Worley had 7 points, 5 rebounds, 1 block, and 2 steals. Shout out to C. Keep up the good work. I believe they play. Who do they play? I know they play somebody on Saturday that I know about. Oh, they play New Hampshire on Saturday. Okay, so yeah, they're still on their road trip up there up north. Jacksonville, friends of the program. Jacksonville and Central Arkansas played. Central Arkansas, if that name that college sounds familiar, that's the same school that Scottie Pippen went to before he became a pro. Shout out. Jacksonville. Also, I believe famous players who went to Jacksonville. I believe that would be D. Brown, if I'm not mistaken. D. Brown, the dunk contest winner. So anyway. Jacksonville Central Arkansas played yesterday, and Central Arkansas won 71-58. Craig and Day actually got off. Sanaya Craig had 7 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist. Sanaya Garrett had 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. That's pretty much it for college basketball, for men's and women's college basketball for yesterday. No games today. I was actually going through the schedule. There's going to be games tomorrow. If you're not doing anything, there's quite a few games that you want to see on ESPN and also the Big Ten Network and also the ACC Network, SEC Network as well. Definitely hit up Virginia Tech and Miami. They play at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Maryland and Michigan State play at 5:30 tomorrow. Penn State and Indiana play at 12 tomorrow. Shout out to Penn State. Shout out to Trent, a.k.a. Stand Up. Number 5, Tennessee, and number 10, Kentucky. They play a little bit later tomorrow night at 8:30. St. Joe's and LaSalle are playing. I'm definitely going to be going to that game, so I can't wait to see what's going on with St. Joe's. Shout out to Coach Justin Scott. Shout out. Hopefully I get the T-shirt or something like that. Hint, hint. Also, George Mason and UMass are playing. Shout out to Russell Diggins up there. UMass doing this thing. I think he's averaging around like 15 points, I think, around there. So, shout out. In women's college basketball, UMass and St. Joe's are playing. Shout out to Leah Sneed out there. She's doing her thing over there on City Line Ave. UMass Lowell, New Hampshire are playing tomorrow, like I said before. Also, Dell State and Norfolk State are playing tomorrow. Norfolk State, shout out to Diamond Johnson, doing her thing out there, down there, excuse me, down there in Norfolk. So definitely try to get a watch at the MEAC down there at 2 p.m. So yeah, and this is pretty much it, man. Just a quick hitter. We're gonna probably touch on more topics and stuff like that. Hopefully, Lara, next step you can probably join me over this weekend. We could definitely talk about different topics, so let's catch up with sports and everything like that. So, but that's it. This is Kay. Hopefully, you have a great weekend. If I don't hear from you guys Sunday, hopefully I can just pull up. I can pull up to GFS. I might have a story for you guys. I might not. So, but thanks for all your support and everybody. And this is Ken. We're signing off. You have a wonderful weekend. If I don't hear from you, peace out. Hey, how's it going? Sorry, I was doing a podcast real quick.